She immediately ran away. No money, you're heartless, I won't talk to you anymore. He smiled and watched Gu Xiana run off. Gu Chang'e tightly held the bottle and thought, if it weren't for the beautiful memories, why let them happen again? Xiaoyi! Xiaoyi! The calls echoed, aiming to wake the unconscious girl. She was surrounded by thick locks. The girl opened her eyes heavily. In her daze, she saw two figures, one constantly crashing into the barrier, and the other standing to the side watching. Brother, young Master Chang'e. Xiaoyi, sister, wake up. Young Master Chang'e has already subdued Lord Xiang, we're here to save you. It's brother's voice, Qingfeng. Xiaoyi quickly sat up and asked suspiciously, was it Lord Xiang who captured me? Qingfeng looked at him worriedly and asked, young Master Chang'e, do you have any way to this restriction? He replied, I don't know exactly what method Xiang used to set such a strong restriction, but don't worry. Today, even if I have to use all my strength, I will break it and save your sister. Qingfeng's expression was filled with gratitude, with tears in his eyes. Xiaoyi inside was also deeply moved, young Master Chang'e. Qingfeng immediately knelt down and deeply bowed, the kindness of young Master Chang'e, we, brother and sister, will remember it for our whole lives. Please accept my bow. He coldly looked at him, his gaze elsewhere, and the people around seemed to have a good impression of him. A system prompt appeared, Qingfeng and Qing Xiaoyi were deeply moved. He said in surprise, young man, what are you doing? I can understand your concern and love for your sister. He ordered, get up quickly. In a certain place, a group of people were moving in a line and suddenly discovered something. The young man wore a cloak and slightly turned his head to look back. Then he quickly turned in one direction, with two girls behind him watching. Ruanmi quickly followed his turning direction. She was surprised because he had already disappeared. She paused slightly and thought, was I discovered? Sure enough, with my cultivation, trying to track a semi-supreme existence is too difficult. In another place, Chen Wuyan stepped out of the spatial ring. He sat down and murmured, there are spies of Gu Chang'e everywhere, looks like I need to be more careful. He thought, now, I should go to the reincarnation lake. On Tianhuang Mountain, 5 people were bowing in front of a giant volcanic pillar. The ancestor of Tianhuang Mountain appeared, with a fierce expression, how dare they kill my disciple of Tianhuang Mountain in my own mansion? Do they think that I've died off completely? He shouted, let's go together and destroy the purple mansion. The people below were sweating profusely, still bowing, yes, we obey the ancestor's command. Elsewhere, a figure was walking forward, the purple mansion dares to challenge the dignity of my family's ancestor, they are seeking death. The people below angrily said, humph, a bunch of rabble, master, it's finally your turn to restore the reputation of our family. Gu Lin Tian stepped down step by step, everyone, don't worry, many forces have already clashed with the purple mansion. Tianhuang Mountain, the ancient Yi clan, and the endless fire domain have all sent people. We are just here to support. Someone in the group asked, Master, who do you think we should send for this war? The surrounding people showed sinister smiles, and the red-haired girl proudly said, that's right. This is the key, after all, it's been a long time since everyone has exercised their muscles. A voice came from behind, has the purple mansion forgotten that their ancestor once knelt at the gate of our mountain to ask for help? The person instantly disappeared and quickly reappeared in front of everyone, do they think I'm dead? The crowd was shocked and quickly turned to bow, greetings, ancestor. He coldly responded, Gu Lin Tian frowned and thought, humph. The Gu family has too many ancestors, who is this one? Seeing Gu Lin Tian bow, Gu Lang asked, kid, are you the current master of the Gu family? Your strength is not bad. Gu Lin Tian quickly replied, the younger generation, Gu Lin Tian, thanks for the ancestors' praise. Gu Lang walked barefoot up every step, you don't need to be modest, the previous master of the Gu family at this age was far from the Tao. He reached the top, sat on the throne, and spoke down, I am Gu Lang. I already know about the purple mansion. The Karmic obstacles of those who are doomed cannot be saved. You may act, no need to worry. The people below were shocked to recognize him and hurriedly bowed. So it is the 18th ancestor, who single-handedly shattered many of Tianhuan Mountain's ancestors' hearts in a few eras. Another person spoke, "Greetings, 18th ancestor." Gu Lang's expression became serious. 18th ancestor, that's an old title. I neglected my cultivation and became lazy for millions of years. Now, I probably can't even rank second. Besides, it seems the current heir of the Gu family is. Is that your son? He continued, I heard that kid has been doing a lot of big things recently, decisive in his actions, ruthless, his style is like this. Gu Lin Tian closed his eyes, sweat pouring from his forehead, his brows furrowed in worry. I highly admire him. Suddenly, Gu Lang laughed loudly. This left Gu Lin Tian stunned, his eyes wide, not understanding what was happening. Gu Lin Tian looked up, ancestor, currently Changgu is in the Xuanwu ancient kingdom. I will immediately send a message for him to return to the family. Gu Lang responded, no need, it's rare for me to come out, let's go see some old friends first. We will meet this heir sooner or later. As soon as he finished speaking, countless rays of light gathered around him, and Gu Lang soared into the sky with the light. Everyone turned around and heard someone say, the 18th ancestor always does whatever he wants, but based on his personality, he should stop by the Purple Mansion, right? Another person answered, that's right. If the Purple Mansion's internal affairs aren't deep enough, they probably won't last until we arrive. The crowd quickly surrounded Gu Lin Tian and said, hurry up. The Gu family can't let our ancestor take the lead. If this gets out, others will laugh at us. Gu Lin Tian spoke, to destroy the Purple Mansion, can we send 3 emperors and 8 supreme beings? One person quickly interjected, oh no, master. That's not enough, we need 5 emperors and 10 supreme beings, otherwise, others will think we don't have enough power. Another person responded, makes sense. In the Xuanwu ancient kingdom, Changgu was writing something. He smiled wickedly, all right. How does this look? Su Qingqing quickly grabbed the paper, looking at it in surprise and exclaiming. It swallows mountains and rivers, so powerful, your handwriting is truly beautiful. The paper read the character, kill. Changgu snorted angrily, you flatterer. Just as the two were laughing, Lu Wan walked over and spoke, Master Gu. May I ask why you summoned Wana here? He responded, I remember, I said that as long as Su Hao doesn't provoke me, I can't be bothered with him. After all, for me, killing him is easier than destroying the Purple Mansion. He squinted his eyes, his tone somewhat displeased, but during this period, he seems to have been somewhat restless. Tang Wan was so scared that she quickly kneeled down, I have already advised Brother Su Hao. She looked up at him and said, Master, could you give me some time? Qinggu turned his head, oh, did you really advise him? Su Qing hugged the paper to his chest, looking at her, thinking, she seems to be Brother Su Hao's girlfriend. Qinggu walked in front of the kneeling Tang Wan and said, but I feel that Su Hao is determined to put me to death. She begged, he doesn't know the heights of heaven or the depths of the earth. Master, please don't hold a grudge against him, please be generous. Tang Wan trembled all over. He placed his hand on her head, arrogantly looking down at her, forget it, you don't need to care about Su Hao anymore. I have other tasks for you. She answered in fear, Master, please command. She thought to herself, if he can control the Purple Mansion, what is my Tang family worth? While stroking her head, he smiled, during this time, someone called Chen Wui will come to find you. You must follow my instructions when he comes. She asked again, Chen Wui. His eyes suddenly turned purple, and the third eye on his forehead appeared, that's right, he is your Tao partner from your past life. He wants to continue your past connection. She widened her eyes, seemingly not daring to believe it. She stammered, Tao partner, from the past life. Tang Wan walked out of the city gate, closing the door and standing for a while. Somewhere, Bai Yang closed his eyes and stroked his beard, thinking. Su Qing and Chenggu stood watching the door where she had just left. He spoke, Su Qing, how has the task I assigned been progressing? She replied, replying to young master, I have followed your instructions. I have sent the people from the Purple Mansion, including those from the Purple Sun Divine Kingdom, to the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom. She turned around and looked at him, young master, Su Qing doesn't understand. Why, for no reason, do you want to move them to another place? He smiled and replied, although the Purple Mansion is being attacked by various sects, the attention given to the Purple Sun will still make them distracted and send reinforcements. I think the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom is a good battlefield. Her expression became thoughtful as she thought, isn't this courting disaster? I and senior brother Su Hao are also of the same sect with feelings. Should I tell him about this in advance? She frowned, worried, what if the young master finds out? Seemingly knowing what she was thinking, he glanced at her smugly, sometimes a person's fate is in her thoughts. In a certain place, Su Hao quickly walked towards Bai Yang and asked, Uncle Master, what's going on? Bai Yang closed his eyes with a disappointed look, she indeed came out of Chengji's courtyard, and Chenggu is protected by an Emperor Realm expert. She must be the one who killed the Purple Mansion's Supreme Realm person. So, I didn't dare approach. Su Hao showed disappointment and a hint of anger, I knew it. He placed his hand on Bai Yang's shoulder and comforted, Hao, don't worry. I saw Tang Wan visit Chenggu, and it was only for a brief time, just a tea's worth. They shouldn't have anything happen. Bai Yang quickly responded, I am relieved about this. If Wana had other intentions, she would have left when I was in the Supreme Cave Heaven for cultivation. Why wait until now? Just as they were talking, a large eagle descended from the sky, carrying a note. The large eagle landed on Su Hao's shoulder. If she really likes a hypocrite like Chenggu, I don't believe it, he said as he took the note from the eagle's leg. Su Hao furrowed his brows, his face turning anxious, and shouted, What? The Purple Sun Heavenly Lord and the disciples of the Purple Mansion have been moved to the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom? Bai Yang asked in disbelief, Are you sure? Is Chenggu planning to turn the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom into a battlefield? Su Hao's face turned angry as he tightly gripped the note, This is a message from my father, it must be true. How could Chenggu be so vicious? What grudge do I have with him? Why involve the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom? After completing the task, the large eagle flew away. This is useless. Let's hurry back. Chenggu should already be heading to the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom. At the reincarnation lake, everything was calm, with the setting sun's rays on the sky and a clear and peaceful water surface. In this tranquil space, a loud voice suddenly shouted, You want me to help the Purple Mansion? What a joke. Are you out of your mind? In front of a chain-wrapped cave entrance, Chen Wui shouted inside, Senior, last time you helped me with the water lake matter, I haven't repaid you with my 9 heavens items yet. The person inside responded to Wuya in a sharp tone, More is not possible. That's the Chongqinggu family. Who knows how many old monsters of theirs are still alive? I heard that each of them is extremely petty, and whoever offends them will inevitably face a bad end. He gritted his teeth and tried to negotiate, then add a part of the 9 heavens immortal scriptures. I don't need you to confront the Chongqinggu family or help the Purple Mansion. Senior, your cultivation is boundless. And with your reversal technique, you just need to secretly save my junior brother. How does that sound? The person inside the barrier was silent for a moment before speaking, You actually have so many good things on you. Suddenly, a great force emanated from the group, with red light constantly bursting out like flames. The man laughed, You dare say that? Aren't you afraid that I'll just take your things by force? He still stood in place and responded, Senior, do you think I'm a fool? The red light kept flying toward Wuya. He said seriously, If I dare to mention it, of course, it's to make sure no one else can take it, and I trust Senior's character. The red light slowly retracted, flying into the air. There was no longer any barrier or chains at the entrance. The person's voice came through. "All right, if that's the case, I'll go. But I'll say this first, if the Gu family finds out, I will immediately sever ties with you." Chen Wuya clenched his fists tightly. "Xiaoyang, hold on, I will do everything I can to save you." In the Chu kingdom, someone looked up at the sky in fear. "Your Majesty, this is..." The ruler looked at the sky in panic and blurted out, "The heavenly calamity, the heavenly calamity." A guard quickly came to report, "Your Majesty, White Sun and the third prince have returned." At this moment, Chu Hao spoke, "Father. How, Lord Sun, you've finally returned." His voice carried a hint of joy. He pointed at the sky, his tone urgent, "Look, that's the ancient immortal warship from the continent. Gu Chang'e is escorting people from the Purple Mansion, stopping at our border, with ill intentions. If he insists on turning this place into a battlefield, then our Chu kingdom," he hesitated for a moment, "will be destroyed." The sky was filled with sunlight, but hundreds of warships were moving. Chu Hao's face was angry and dripping with sweat as he looked up at the sky, while White Sun seemed more composed. At that moment, a guard came running to report, "Your Highness, Miss Lu Wan requests to see you." Upon hearing her name, he immediately turned and asked, "Wanner?" White Sun's expression grew a little displeased as he sighed and muttered, "Women only affect one's focus on cultivation." Chu Hao quickly walked to where she was waiting. "Wanner, why are you here at this time?" Lu Wan had a worried expression, sweat beading on her forehead, and hurriedly said, "Hao Gu, I heard you're preparing to deal with Gu Chang'e. I think you should discuss it further, don't act impulsively. Don't mention the Chu kingdom. Even with the supreme cave heaven behind us, we can't confront Gu Chang'e. The Purple Mansion is a living example." Hearing her words, Chu Hao's face showed no expression, his tone impatient. "Wanner, do you look down on the supreme cave heaven behind me?" She quickly explained, "Hao Gu, that's not what I meant. I just advise you to think twice and not do something beyond your ability, don't act emotionally." Chu Hao, enraged, his face clearly showing disappointment, interrupted her, "Beyond my ability? Do you think I am inferior to Gu Chang'e?" She froze. "What did you say?" Lu Wan shouted angrily, "What I mean is, you should quickly strengthen your power." She continued loudly, "If Gu Chang'e comes to deal with you, you'll at least have a better chance of survival." "Enough!" Chu Hao shouted angrily, his face turning terrifying, his power continuously released, startling her. He frowned and said, "I don't want to hear these words from you again. Do you understand?" Chu Hao turned to leave, leaving a cracked ground due to the shockwave from his energy. Ignoring her, "You've changed," he said softly, "but I know you mean well, Wanner." He paused for a moment. He slightly turned his head to look at her. "This time, can you not stop me? If I really follow what you said, the Chu kingdom will be destroyed." She stood there, tears flowing from her eyes. Countless warships were moving in the sky. From within a ship, the voices of many people echoed, "Greetings, Master. Greetings, Master." A group of people knelt and bowed, facing Chang'e, no need for formalities. He walked over and sat in a chair, waiting for her. Yan Yu stood up and reported, "Master, Yan Yu would never forget your command. I have found over 100 people with special origins." She continued, "For this expedition, I've brought them all. Now, we're just waiting for your inspection." Chang Ji's face showed pride. "Very good. Come here." "Yes." She walked closer and knelt. He propped himself on his hands, slightly leaning forward, looking at her. "You did not disappoint me. From today onward, Yan Yu will lead the Black Sky Eagle clan." He looked at the elder and asked, "Do you have any objections?" The elder quickly responded, "I will obey the Master's orders." He thought irritably, "How could I dare have objections? Isn't this a pointless question?" Yan Yu suddenly remembered something and said, "By the way, Master, not long ago, I caught a group of mysterious people outside the ancient forbidden immortal zone." He glanced at her and asked, "Mysterious people?" She continued, They were wearing strange clothes, and what's strange is they had no cultivation and weak physiques.